Good.
As we resume, we'll be moving along. Making a right turn into the neighborhood here. Gonna do a little bit of reviewing to make sure you know where you're at when it comes to those things you need to do to pass your road test. As we approach East Drive, looks like a T-corner. So we're going to carefully approach it, watch for both directions, make the turn. Once again, the 3-point turn, just to make sure that you remember what you're doing. Move to the right, making a full stop with no driveways involved. Left turn signal. Make sure it's safe because you don't have the right of way to go across. Watch where your mirror lines up with the top of the curb so you don't go too far forward. Look around. Make sure it's safe as you back up. Don't let your knees pass the middle of the street. Put the car back into drive and move along. 3-point turns, once again, a required maneuver on your road test. Very busy spot here. Notice the sign, right lane must turn right, left lane must turn left. So we will be making a right turn. As we approach this intersection, there is no sign for no turn on red. So if we're going to make a right on red, we need to first make a full complete stop. Then we can inch up to make sure it's safe, and if it is, we can proceed with a right turn on a red light. Turning into the second lane, as you notice there, because the right lane must turn right. And again, you're going to see those signs all over. Looking ahead, right lane must turn right. And as we look at this sign here on our right, that sign is showing us a divider in the road with an arrow that's pointing to the left. Looking on the right, looking straight ahead. Again, we see the sign that has the divider with the arrow pointing you to the right around the divider. That is considered a regulatory sign. And regulatory signs give you a direction that you must obey by law. So by law, you must stay to the right of that divider. Another very popular sign that you need to be aware of, because if you go to the left, you're going to be facing oncoming traffic and you could be in an awful lot of trouble. Nice to know these people are driving the people that we care about around. left them enough room. This one's trying to do the same thing. Always leave room for drivers. And I don't know if we've talked about this one yet, but expect the unexpected. Because who expected that? They were both in the right lane. Oh, what was that? Must turn right lane. That's going to be one expensive little Wendy's burger there, pal. Force light. They do happen to be everywhere, so be alert, be aware. When you see them, like I said before, just call it out. Photo enforced. A lot of traffic in this area. Complex intersections. But when everybody pays attention and everybody does what they're supposed to do, the traffic flows smoothly and everybody gets where they're going. Because that's the goal that you should set for yourself every single day. When you leave the house and say goodbye to your family and your pets, you want to be able to say hello to them hours later. And we'll be making a right turn at this light, another very busy intersection. pedestrians, bicyclists, you name it. We've got it. The park is on the left. Uh-oh, it looks like I just changed lanes over a solid line. You caught that, didn't you? Aha, see? You are paying attention. Again, the lane usage signs above tells us where we can go. Now, we can make a right from this lane, which is what we're going to do. We haven't done this yet. Making a right from the outer turn lane will allow us to turn into the outer lane. Photo enforced light, and so far our timing has been rather good with those. Haven't had to jam on the brakes, and yes, I would have if I had to, because the photo enforced light, as we explained in a previous class, is a $150 fine, so be careful. It's not worth it. Note the sign on the right that's telling us that there is a divider ahead, which is going to separate the directions of traffic. And the sign telling us to keep to the right of the divider. Signs tell you what you can do and what you can't do. So always be alert, be aware of all the signs. Let's not forget, be alert in parking lots. Just using the lot to turn around, as there was construction up ahead that we were kind of looking to avoid. Was planning on doing a 3-point turn, but it's not a street, it's just a parking lot. Yellow lights, usually seen at fire stations, will turn solid red when fire trucks are coming out or going in. Parking lots. Parking lots are where many accidents happen because people do not pay attention as they drive in parking lots. Sometimes you will get stop signs in parking lots. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes there are lines. Sometimes there aren't. Case like this, in order to get to the other side of the parking lot, you need to cut through to the point where you can now go where you're not affecting any lines for parking. We'll be doing that very soon. This has no stop sign, but it does have a white stop line, and the stop line did even say stop. So while there are no stop signs, there are still stop lines, and you must be alert and aware, and always let your eyes swing in the direction that you want your car to go. Be aware of everything that's around. Everything. Absolutely everything. Another stop line. Never cut through the parking spaces And always be alert for anything. Watch the movement. The car that's pulling in on the left, is he actually pulling into the space? You have to watch for it. Watch the drivers. Watch the driver's seats. Anytime you see somebody in a car, what are they going to do? Are they coming out? Are they staying put? Resuming with our class on moderate to heavy traffic and speed control, we have to learn to watch those speed limit signs. Now, when you're on a side street speed limits are 30 miles per hour in the state of New York. But it is not safe at all to drive 30 miles an hour down the side streets here on Long Island. And in many places too, I'm certain. So what we try to do, always maintain a safe speed as you're driving down the side streets. A three-way stop requires all cars, all directions to come to a stop. Do they always do that? No, they don't. You have to be alert and be aware and make sure that it's safe before you proceed. Another all-way stop. And remember, don't forget, let your shoulders reach the corner before you start to turn left. By doing that, you're leaving the room for the car on the left to be able to make their right turn while you're turning left. You should be able to make those turns at the same time. Those stop signs that are buried by the trees. Pulling out to make the turn. Make sure you go in the right lane. And we will now make a left turn at this light. Noticing that we have a green light. So we're going to inch up. And we're going to stop right about here, where we can still see the traffic light. Even if the light changes from this point, we have to finish our turn. And again, always look where you want your car to go. Another divider beginning, and the sign that's telling us to keep to the right of the divider. 30 mile per hour speed limit. Some places have much lower speed limits for a reason. The roads can't handle faster speeds, so the speed limits are placed to help guide you at a proper speed. Looked like a good place to make a left, but there are signs everywhere telling us, don't you try that. And we see an active driveway sign. And we're going to make a right turn at this traffic light here. What happens next? You got it. The 3-point turn. So we signal right, we pull to the right, slow and easy, make a full stop, and we put our signal on, checking, making sure the mirror lines up with the top of the curb. That keeps you from going too far and scraping up your new car. And for that matter, an old car too. Some people have cars that have thousands and thousands and thousands of miles on it. Then there's me. We could go straight ahead, but wait a minute, we can't go straight ahead because the sign is telling us we cannot enter. Once again, the signage. Everybody's got to learn to read the signs and make sure that you read the entire sign until you see the pole. When you see the pole, there's nothing more to be said. Moving off to the right here, see the red light, but we also see the green arrow that is allowing us to move to the right. Approaching a school zone. Schools are about to be back in session. Approaching the light, if you look at the light on the right, how it's blinking. Why is it blinking? Does anybody know why that light is blinking? What? It's broken? No. Red light camera? No. Anybody else? No. It's what they call a limited sight distance light. Let me explain. We just came up and over a hill. At night, you would not know that there's a traffic light ahead as you're about to come up and over the hill where you have limited sight. So that light at night, you will see blinking in the sky, and it warns you that you're approaching a traffic light. So anytime you see a light like that, don't think that it's broken. Many people think it's a camera light. It's not. It's a limited sight distance light. And it's all about the timing. Sometimes you make that turn, the light's green. You go right through it. Sometimes you make it and it's red, and you got a lesson out of it. Always good to learn things. Photo enforced sign is buried by the tree. But again, our timing today has really absolutely been impeccable. That time we hit a yellow, but we were already under it when it changed. Remember about always reading the signs. Always nice to have a beautiful view of a water tower in your backyard. And at the next light, we're going to make a right turn. As we prepare to make this right turn, we're going to look for the signs. First off, we're going to move into the turning area. Is that a turning area? No, it is not a turning area. You're not supposed to do that. Not supposed to drive down a lane like this. Did I do that on purpose? Yes, I did. Look at the sign. One way. Sundays only. 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that means you're not allowed to enter on Sunday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. But the amount of people that just see one way and then they just start to go crazy thinking they're going down the one-way street, you've got to learn to read the entire sign. Here's a perfect example right there. The sign is telling you you can go right or left, but on Sundays, it's one way only from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Why did they pick Sundays? Come on, people. This one's easy. Because there's a church. Exactly. Good answer. Look at the huge parking lot that is full of cars on Sundays. Well, I'm sorry. Actually, only 33% full of cars because of the situation that we're currently going through. What does that sign mean? That means that the road is going to curve to the right, to the left, and back to the right, and the speed limit should be reduced to 20 miles per hour. You're also approaching a playground, as we see the sign with the seesaw or teeter-totter or anything else you might want to call those things. Move to the right, away from the house with the vinyl siding over a brick chimney. Watch for any movement and allow her to cross. Notice the sign for no U-turn, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. school days. So if I wanted to make a U-turn now, I could. But on school days, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., it's prohibited. Looks like we picked the wrong way to go, so I think we're going to go this way. Appears to be all backed up. Red light, green arrow allows us to make our turn. But first we want to make sure there's no pedestrians in the crosswalk before we continue with our turn. Taking it back through the main area where we should pick up lots and lots of traffic. Traffic that moves is okay, but when traffic stops you cold, that's no fun. Another lane change. some reason it doesn't look like it's a legal turn, did it? But it was. If it was illegal, there would have been signs. Watching that car coming out on the right. People standing there. And he backed up for safety. That was a smart move. But we were prepared for it. We were ready in case he did decide to come darting out. Remember, one of the major lessons. Watch for any movement and what could possibly come from that movement. As we approach yet another photo enforced light. Everywhere you can think of, you're going to see these photo enforced lights. Don't want to get too close to the back of the truck. Would like it if I could see the traffic light here, but I can't. This time we wait and go around the solid line. Never go inside of the solid line. The only time it's really okay to go inside of the line is to pull over the solid line and do what? Drive down it to get to the light? No. Park. That's the only time it's okay to go inside of the solid line, is to pull over and park. Coincidentally, that's what we're going to do now. Pull over and park for a moment.